Hey, I'm Ced Hawkins. Welcome to the CedTalks Podcast. My guest today is a student at the School of Art at Carnegie Mellon University. She's an artist, very creative, and I'm proud to showcase her talent right here on the podcast today. Right now, here is Lily Bridges. Lily, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, how have you been? I know we haven't talked in a while. We weren't really all that close in high school, but I always remembered you having a passion for art, so that's why I figured I could have you on the show and sit down and learn some stuff from you. But how have you been as of late?
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me for this podcast. I'm so excited. This project is so cool, honestly, to hear, I've listened to a few of them and just, people that I used to know in high school and stuff. It's really fun to hear everyone and, how they're doing. But I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I don't know. I am really into my work right now and just in this very intense sort of research state of a few projects, and I'm just really excited about my work. And I'm living in Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh weather, so it's kind of ass, but it's nice. I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you come back and visit Maryland from time to time, or are you permanently out in Pittsburgh right now at your school?
I came back for winter break, and I came back for the summer, but yeah, for the school year, for the most part, I'm in Pittsburgh because I have an apartment here, so yeah, it's not like school housing where it's touchy.
Right, yeah. How's your semester been so far? I mean, given that we're still in the middle of the pandemic, we still got some stuff going on. How has that been for you, still trying to adjust to everything?
Honestly, I feel like the online sort of structure works with my lifestyle kind of well, because I don't know, I love to take walks, but I like to take them on my own volition and not because I have to go to class.
Right.
So that's kind of nice, and it was harder, I think, in the beginning because we were all still kind of getting used to it, but I think now I'm used to it and adapted, and it's kind of working for me right now. But yeah.
Do you prefer the online model of learning more, or do you like the more in-person, face-to-face style of learning?
I mean, I think that obviously there's so many benefits to going in person and having these face-to-face conversations and discussions and stuff, but honestly, a lot of what I'm doing in school, with art, photography, and it's all kind of digital and it translates well, and I still have kind of the same discussions that I would in a normal classroom. So I don't really feel like I'm missing out on that much, but I mean, yeah, again, obviously there's the obvious benefits of that. So I really don't know. I'm kind of in between.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll be happy when it comes back.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm kind of the same way too, where it's I like having the online style of learning, but I still like to have that benefit and that balance of meeting face to face and asking my instructors questions, right? In person. So I kind of fall in that same category as well. So I mean,
yeah.
Here's hoping that things get better and things can return to normal. But it just is what it is. We just keep doing what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How did it impact you back at March? Because I know you said earlier it took a while for you to adjust to everything. When everything first started last year, how did that really affect you?
Honestly, it was a lot because I think that it kind of shocked me into this freeze state sort of where I didn't come home. I actually stayed in Pittsburgh, and I was completely alone. And for a few months, and then, I had one or two friends that we would hang out sometimes. But it was pretty hard. It was I was definitely depressed and just dealing with that. And so that kind of happened, and then I went home for the summer, and everything kind of changed. And I think it's just, I'm not really sure why I didn't go home, or I didn't like, have more people sort of, like, around me, but I just didn't think that it was as important as it was, and I realized that later.
Right, I feel you. Did you not feel safe coming back home, given that, not much was known about the virus at the time?
Yeah, I think I was just kind of, like, in a panic state, and I didn't really know what to do, because my grandmother lives with me, so that was kind of I really just didn't know enough, and I think that I was just panicked.
Right, absolutely. That's understandable. I mean, I've talked to a few people who we went to school with, and they went away to college, and they stayed away for, months on end and didn't come home until towards the summer or maybe even the fall. So I know that was definitely hard to be away from your family.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult and a weird, complicated situation. So,
right. Yeah.
But,
talk to me about some of the things that really kept you encouraged during that time period, kind of boosted your spirits up in a lot of ways to keep you going.
Well, honestly, like, I wasn't really getting a lot of satisfaction out of my work at that point, and I was just kind of, like, clinging on to, well, I have a cat, and, like, I love her, and she definitely, like, made things easier for me, and then once I came home, my family would be around. It was really awesome to, like, hang out with them, and and before that, my friend Justin specifically, he came back to Pittsburgh, and we were together then. So that was, like, everything I needed.
Nice.
At that point.
That's cool. That's really cool. Talk to me about your life growing up as a kid here in Maryland. What was that like for you as you sit here and reflect and look back on your childhood memories?
Well, I moved there when I was, I think, like, 11. So I don't know. I actually have been doing a ton of reflection on, like, that period of my life, because it seems like so, I don't know why, but relevant to me right now. Like, when I came home for the summer, I was like, wow, I think that, I don't know, coming home and kind of, like, being around people in Calvert County and, like, people that I grew up around and stuff, I think that I'm really interested in, like, those identities and how they, and, like, in relation to academia, because coming to somewhere like CMU, I think it was definitely, like, a culture shock, and, like, definitely some imposter syndrome, like, coming from a place like Huntingtown,
right?
To some extent. So, I am interested in, like, the identities there, and so when I think about high school, I guess, like, I think about like, stuff in relation to.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up prior to coming to Maryland when you were 11?
I lived in eastern Pennsylvania.
Got you. All right. How big of a culture shock was that for you coming from Pennsylvania to Maryland? Did you adjust well, or did it take some time to getting used to everything?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shock. It's definitely, like, more, like, of a Southern culture than Pennsylvania. But that didn't really strike me then as much as it did coming to Pittsburgh.
Right. Yeah. How do you think that this style of, like, each state where you've been at, how do you think that's really affected you as an individual? Like, do you relate more to the Pennsylvania side of where you grew up at? Do you relate more with Maryland? Like, how do you juggle and balance those two different places where you grew up at?
Well, my mom is from Philly, like, the eastern Pennsylvania area, and so is my grandmother, and they both live with me at home.
Right.
So I have that aspect, and then living there definitely, shaped me as it does, I guess, when you're in elementary school. But coming to Maryland, I think, like, in middle school and high school, I think I resented it for a while, and I kind of was like, ew, I don't want to be here. I don't know why I felt like that exactly. Like, bet I could articulate it to you a few years ago, but I kind of forget. Because now I look back and I'm, like, really grateful for, like, I think my experiences there and, like, how it shaped me. I think it was a rather... No, I hated high school, but I think it was an overall productive experience.
Right. I think that's, like, pretty cool on my part to kind of see, like, or just hear from different people. They grow up in different areas before coming to Maryland, because I've always lived in Maryland. Maryland has been pretty much my entire life. Like, I don't have that experience of living somewhere else. So I always find it fascinating just to hear from different people and get their opinions on, you know, the different places they've been at and how that measures up to Maryland or Calvert County in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calvert County is definitely a very specific place, which is also why I'm so interested in it, because it's just, it's different from a lot of the places that I've been, traveled to, lived at. It's very specific.
It really is, because it's so small and you feel like it's really big, but once you go outside of the county and you go to all these other different places, it's really small, because people just don't know what Calvert County is. It's almost like we're in our own little island in a lot of ways, which I don't mind, because I like the seclusiveness of this area and how quiet and peaceful it is. I know there's a lot of, like, negative stuff going on in the county that is out of my control, but I always try to distance myself from that and try to take in the positives of what this county brings to others and to myself.
Yeah, I so agree with you.
Yeah. When you were a kid, when did you really get into art?
I feel like it was, like, middle school, and my mom put me into an art class it was, like, in Annapolis. I forget the name of the place, but it was, like, a figure drawing class, and it was really exciting for me, and yeah, and then I went to high school, and I took, I think, every single art class that I could, and I don't know, I feel like it started pretty early, where I kind of had this, like, come to, you know, a moment with myself where I was like, I don't think that I care enough about anything else to do it, like, as well, or as, like, or for as long as I could do, like, be making work.
Right.
Be making art.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but we had art and design together freshman year with Miss Smith, and I was always jealous of your artwork, because you did so good with your artwork, and I was so, like, terrible. I think I got a B in that class for the entire year, and I wanted an A so bad, but she was so difficult, and that class was so hard, and you always had the best artwork.
No, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Miss Smith's class.
She was a trip.
Whatever.
I remember we had, like, a project where we did, like, paper mache, and I made a bear. And I remember she got so mad at me. She's like, you know what, just give it here. I'm going to do it myself. And she did the whole project for me, and all I had to do was paint it. So I was like, hey. She got so mad at me.
Oh my God. Yeah, she made my life a living hell for a while, but it was okay. I guess. I don't know, it worked out.
Absolutely.
I wish her the best.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, speaking on Huntingtown, I mean, how would you describe your time there? I know you said you had, like, a little bit of negative, like, when you look back on it, you kind of have a negative perspective of it. So how do you look at high school, your time at Huntingtown?
Well, okay, at the time, like, I can't complain. I mean, I, like, had fun in high school. I feel like I was, like, I cannot complain. But I think relative to my experience in college, I look back on high school and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, like who was I? Like, it was just, like, cringe.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was fun. Like, I think that, again, there's a lot of learning experiences. I think that I came to college prepared, and, yeah, I mean, it was important, I think I would say.
Right. Like, I'm sure.
Go through Huntingtown.
Yeah, like I know I've had negative high school experiences. Anybody listening, they've probably had negative high school experiences that they cringe at or they don't even want to like talk about. It's weird how the human mind works. I could be on the road driving and I get taken back to a memory from junior year and I'm just like, man said, why did you do that? Why would you say something like that? Like, come on now.
I know. Oh my goodness. And all of the teachers. Oh my God, my brother is in high school right now, and when I was home for break, he would tell me about like all of his teachers and stuff, and I just remembered like, damn, like these teachers take themselves way too seriously, like for their own good. Like I'm just like, they need to chill out. I don't know.
I know. Same with professors. Like I've started to learn that with the professors I've had, they can do that also, where it's like they take themselves way too serious in their job too seriously, and they just add either too much work or just too much pressure on us as students when really it's just not necessary. Like you could honestly help us out, but you choose not to, and that just makes the process 100 times more difficult.
God. Exactly. Yeah, that was the main point of frustration in high school for me.
Yeah, I mean, shifting back to art, is that something that you still do now in your spare time? Like, is that a hobby that you like to do?
It is my major. So I study art at the School of Art, and so it's a lot of my classes that I take, and it's all studios or like a crit theory class, which is art history and critical theory, which, that's my major. So, I'm still very much actively doing work. I have a lot of projects going on.
Yeah, when you do your projects, where do you get the inspiration from? Because I'm sure your professors, they're giving you pretty much a guideline of what you're supposed to do, but how do you find the motivation and the inspiration to put all of your ideas onto the canvas?
Well, I think, where do I get my inspiration? Well, I mean, in this crit theory class, we do a lot of reading, like, of critical essays and either kind of older or, like, more recent art discourse. And so that's how I kind of stay engaged with, like, conceptual ideas and connect things. And also, like, I'm always consuming media, as everyone is. So a lot of, like, the movies I watch feel relevant to my work, and I have been working with photography recently, and like this alter ego character, so kind of like persona building, world building, and a lot of it again is like based on, I think, my experiences in Maryland, and like also coming back and forth, and I feel like I'm in a very unique position, kind of being from somewhere like Southern Maryland, where there's not a lot of people from like the South here at my school. And so it's kind of like, I guess my inspiration comes from my like position between the two sort of worlds.
Right. I'm the same way because I do poetry and I also write short stories on the side. I actually just published a book, and pretty much all of the it's pretty much all the poems in that comes from the different experiences in my life. And like you said, the media, everything that surrounds the media. It's like I try to take those different things and add it to my literary work and try to have those things come to life. So I definitely resonate with that. Yeah. Talk to me about like that alter ego thing, because I think that's like so fascinating. Like before you get into it, I was listening to a J. Cole interview a while back, and he said that he had an alter ego that he tapped into. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he used like his alter ego to help write some of his songs and produce some of the work that he's put out over the past few years. So what is this alter ego that you have?
Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Right. I feel you.
I do. I mean, it's a character based on, I think, a lot of myself, people in my personal life, and just kind of anecdotes and stories that I've observed from other people and stuff to create this character, and kind of for the purpose of, well, I think the ultimate purpose of an alter ego, which there's a ton of, or not a ton, but some some research on how, like, people coming out of PTSD or, like, some sort of, with PTSD of a traumatic experience, like, there's a healing process that happens when they tell their stories through an alter ego that's not them. So I'm kind of interested in that and, like, looking at, like, I think photography, flash photography specifically through this trauma framework. So, yeah, it's kind of about, like, trauma healing through the alter ego, telling stories about lived experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, just to be able to have that creative mindset, to tap into something different other than yourself, to produce work, creative work, artwork, and photography. Like, I think that's so cool and just so incredible. Like, I feel like in this world today, people are just like zombies, and they're so accustomed to this westernized, like, tradition that is in our culture, which is, okay, you know, go to work, do your 9 to 5, you go home, you cook dinner, and then you do the same thing over and over again. But, you know, I feel like the creative ones, they're the ones that they're in the corner or they're in their back, but they really stand out in the end just because they think differently than others. And I never liked how in high school I felt like sometimes I was kind of looked at as weird because I had different opinions or views than other people, so I never really expressed or expanded on those views until I left high school. So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh my God, yeah. High school was like, so that's what I want to say about high school, is that it was an environment that was not suited for it. Like, it was just not a site for, like, generative processes, or just, like, I don't know what I want to say. Like, it was just not an environment that inspired, like, difference in opinions, or, like, really to look into what you were interested in as an individual, or look at yourself as an individual. I think that it was, like, really hard to kind of have, like, your own opinions or hot takes and, like, know what you were about.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure you know, like, the kids in the courtyard, that was always the running joke of, don't go out in the courtyard. Like, that's where the weird kids go out. And so people would stay away from there, and it's like, those kids aren't weird. They just have different opinions and different views of the world that are completely different than yours, and you shouldn't put that label on them. Or even the kids who would hang out in the theater room or in the band room. Like, I never liked that. I never liked having those labels attached to those people. So maybe that's a benefit that comes from, you know, school being virtual now. Maybe there's less opinions and people are being judged less because of that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's actually an interesting thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're big into photography and you also do video making on the side. What got you into doing photography and also doing videos, creating videos?
I mean, for the first 2 years of, like, my undergrad, I did the foundational classes, which are, like, involve, I think they try to give you, like, a breadth of experiences with certain mediums. So, like, you know, I've had photography classes and video making classes, and so that just appealed to me, and I love editing and, well, like, editing videos, and I don't know, it's just, like, a very, like, fun thing to do, and I, like, love, like, learning Premiere. I don't know, it's just, like, a nerd. Oh my God, that was stupid.
You're good.
Like, I feel like a nerd about Premiere. Like, I'm just, like, such an Adobe software nerd. Like, I just love it. And I don't know. I haven't really been making videos recently, actually, but branching out, I guess, video, like, I started to take pictures, and I have a point-and-shoot camera, and, like, I've been trying to work with a DSLR, and a lot of my friends are also, like, photographers, I think, mainly, so that's kind of where we all fall, and it's really fun to, like, make work together and talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Did you take photography in high school?
I actually didn't take photography in high school. That's, like, the class I didn't take.
Yeah, I heard the teacher in there was crazy, but I don't know. That just sprung into my mind as you were talking.
Yeah.
But no, I like doing, like, video editing also. I haven't done it in a few months, but I remember for my English class, we had to edit this PowerPoint presentation of us talking and then, submit it. And so I thought in my mind beforehand, like, this is so stupid. Like, I'm not going to have the motivation to do it. And then when I was sitting there recording my parts and editing it, I was like, man, this is really cool. Like, I didn't think I would like it, but like, I really loved it. And then I started doing some other videos. I started editing that on the side using iMovies. I don't really use Adobe and Photoshop like that, but I use iMovie on my iPad, and everything really worked out. So that's something that I'm interested in. It's just all about me choosing to pursue that, and whether that's getting a camera and going out and recording stuff, like, the sky's the limit with what you can do in this world. But I think that's something I'll definitely get into.
Yeah, you do not need, like, expensive equipment to make good shit. Like, I mean, I love Adobe, but it is, like, a little bit pricey. But honestly, iMovie works. Any, like, camera works. And, like, I don't know. I think it's so fun to make videos and, like, skits and stuff like that. Yeah, but I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, the active editing is so fun. I don't know what it is about that. It's just so fun.
Yeah, it is. And the same thing with the podcast, too. Like, it doesn't really cost much to do a podcast. Like, I'm not even recording this with a microphone. I should probably have, like, a really expensive microphone or, like, special lighting and stuff like that. I don't even have that. I'm just shooting the breeze and recording this thing with my speaker. But still, it's something that I love. And when this is over with, I can go back and edit it in the way that I would like to. And then I produce it. But I think at some point I'll get to a point where maybe I'll start showing my face more on camera and do that style of podcasting.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. Do you feel like in this world it's important to have a creative mind? I know we were touching base on that earlier, but I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Do I think it's important to have a creative mind?
I don't know. I'm one of those people that likes
sure,
to.
I think it's important. I think it's important because it's like, I think it gives you access and empathy for, like, a lot of people and situations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that likes to imagine things and just daydream. I could be in any situation. I could be thinking of something else. Sometimes I'm not truly 100% present, and I could be imagining something else that I could maybe write about and turn that into a story. And I feel like as kids, we did that a lot. We always played pretend, and we always created this stuff. And then as we got older, we just started to phase out of that. And like I said earlier, we started getting into the westernization tradition of going to work and just following the system and following everything in order. And I don't know, I feel like it's important to be very creative and just, have ideas, dare to really dream things and imagine stuff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, it gives you, like, so much balance to your life, and I feel like it can be a very gratifying experience to, like, create something out of some place inside of you that's not necessarily, like, dictated by either an audience or, like, this other material means. I don't know.
Right. And then plus I think it takes your mind off of what's going on in the real world, and so much all this negativity and all this negative stuff that's going on in the world, like, just to take your mind off of that for an hour or 2 hours, just diving yourself into work other than school and just creating something. Like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for creativity. I feel like I'm a nerd in some cases, talking about this stuff, but I think it's important.
No, I do. Yeah, I so agree with you.
Right. What compelled you to choose Carnegie Mellon as your school of choice? Obviously, it's in Pennsylvania, and you had ties to Pennsylvania as a child. Was that the reason why you chose that school?
No, not necessarily. I mean, honestly, I was planning on going to a different school because that's where, like it financially worked out and it seemed good. But then I got accepted to CMU because I applied early decision to every other school, but I wasn't confident that I was going to get into CMU or they were going to give me enough, or that I could afford CMU, basically. So when I got accepted here and the financial part worked out, which was kind of nuts, I guess I took that up because I was telling my mom, I was like, I'm too stupid to go there. And like, you know, I can just say that I was accepted. Like, and she was like, well, you can't put that you were accepted on your resume. Like, you have to go. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's true. Like, fuck it. So, yeah.
I mean,
that's how I'm here.
That's cool, though, that you took that chance on yourself. And, you know, now you're here. This is your third year there, and you're out here living the dream pretty much.
I know, yeah. I really feel like I definitely do not regret that decision.
Right. You also have experience of doing pre-college at CMU and at Virginia Commonwealth University back in 2015. What led you to choose pre-college, especially during that early period where you were still in high school?
Well, oh wait, also, I'm outside right now. Can you, like, hear traffic?
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Honestly, my mom set me up with all of that. It was like her sort of, I don't know, she just like wanted to do that for me, and she knew that I was interested in it, and she knew of these pre-colleges. I had no idea, and she saved up for me and put me through them, and I actually think it gave me, I don't know, it gave me a lot to look forward to, I think, like, of the world and like of beyond high school. So so once I did the first one in Virginia, I wanted to do another one because I loved it so much. Like, it was so fun to go away for a few weeks and just take college level classes and, you know, do all that stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel like all of that really benefited you in the long run by the time you got to college as a freshman of your undergrad?
Yes, for sure. I think that, like, well, first of all, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about going to a pre-college, I would go to a pre-college because it, like, gives you a leg up on getting in, I think, later, or at least that's what I gathered. And then, I don't know, I just think that they're a really beneficial experience, and I, you know, definitely do your research on which ones are good, but I loved it. I thought it was a great experience, and, like, it definitely prepared me for college because it kind of showed me what it was like to live alone or live with a roommate and, like, kind of be in charge of yourself to some extent.
Right. No, I agree. I wish I did something like that during my time in high school. Probably around senior year, I'd say. I don't think I would have been mature enough to handle it junior, sophomore, or even freshman year for that matter. But I think it is, you know, beneficial for people to get that experience and to take college level classes while they're in high school. Like Biz Boley and I, we were talking about that on like the last episode. Like she did the same thing. She took college level classes and it really benefited her in a lot of ways. So I think that is a necessity if you really want to go to college. Like if you don't want to go to college, don't do it. You know, don't waste that money or your time. But I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, no, definitely college is not for everyone. I just like, you know, I love being a student. And I've like thought about that recently where I'm just like, wow, like I don't know what else I would be doing. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. Like,
you know, obviously there's like privilege implied in being able to be a student, but I love it.
Right, exactly.
So happy that I can.
Yeah, like I have a geography paper that's due tomorrow at midnight, and it's only like one page, but I haven't even started it yet. And it's like, like why am I even doing this? And then I think to myself, you know what would I be doing if I wasn't in college right now? Like I'm not working, like not
exactly.
I'm not working that 9 to 5 life. But
exactly, I love to learn. Like I love writing papers and like reading shit. I don't know.
Me too. It's like once I really get in depth with like my assignments and stuff, like I really get in depth with it and I get passionate about it, and it's like I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your first year at CMU as a freshman, how did you adjust to everything? Like how would you describe your first year at CMU as a student?
Oh my God. Well, I met a ton of great people and, you know, friends that I still have now, and like freshman year was important in that way, but it kind of sucked. I mean, like, I was living in the dorms, and the dorm that I was in was so small, and it was just kind of bad. But I mean, no, freshman year was like so fun, and it was just great. Last normal year of college, so
right.
there's also that.
Yeah. I started off at CSM my first year of college, and then I did another year, and I got my degree. So transferred off to Bowie State. So here I am at an official university. But I'll
Oh my
say,
God, hey.
yeah. But I'll say, I'll say my first year at CSM, I learned a lot about myself. You know, it really helped prepare me for the real world, what college life was about, and I think those 2 years really prepared me for life as a college student at a big time university doing
Yeah.
real actual work. Not saying that CSM didn't give me any actual work. Like that work was challenging, but university, that's pretty much it. Like these professors, they're more ruthless than the CSM professors. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
But it prepared me though.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, you learned so much about yourself. Like, yeah. I feel like I was like cognizant of myself for the first time after graduating high school.
Yeah.
So that's probably something.
Yeah, and like I was actually going to ask you that too. Like, how do you feel like you've grown and matured as a person from the time you graduated from Huntingtown up until now?
Oh my God, like who is that bitch? I have no idea who she is. Like, no, I feel like I've grown so much, and like I don't know, I'm really. I always say this to my friends, like, I think that my, like, younger self would think that me right now is, like, so cool, and just, like, doing it, and, like, I don't know, I'm, like, proud of where I am, and I think that it's, like, important to kind of, like, tell your younger self that, and, looking back on, like, kind of hard things, and being, like, like, at least you're here, and, like,
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's really good, too, that you're able to look back on yourself as the years go on and say, man, I really grew in this part of my life as compared to, let's say, last year or 2, 3 years ago. Like, I think that's good. I think that means when you look at yourself and you feel like you've grown, I think that means you're truly progressing and you're really doing what you're supposed to do. You're aligning with your goals and you're pretty much just following your purpose. So I think it's great to be able to have that self-reflection and say you're doing good with yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. What comes next for you in your life? Like, what are some of the goals that you have for yourself now as we're steamrolling through 2021?
I think that I just want to continue, like, this track that I'm on with my work and continue writing and producing work, and I eventually want to graduate and possibly do a residency, go to grad school, and possibly become a professor and probably a practicing artist in my own right in some capacity. And yeah, I don't know. I just see that, like, I envision that sort of life for myself. And
yeah. Would you be an art professor?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, nice. I hope you would be a nice one, because I remember I had an art professor at CSM, and he was so hard on us. Like, the first day of class, he said he wouldn't grade us hard, and every assignment I had, I never got an A on. It was either a B or a C, because it never met his standards or his expectations.
Oh my God, some art people are like so pretentious, and like it's just not literally. That's not the vibe. That's not the vibe.
We had a big assignment where we had to drive to DC and go to the art museum, and we had to pick a piece of art, and then we had to paint it as part of our project. And I think I picked a painting by Vincent van Gogh, and I worked really hard on that painting, especially during spring break. And the traffic in DC was absolutely terrible that day. I could have gotten an accident. And then I turned the assignment in, and I got a 75% on it. I was so mad about that.
Oh my God! No.
I worked so hard on that.
Don't let anyone dull your sparkle like that. That is so annoying.
I know. Like I can remember conversations with my aunt and telling her, like, this man killed my passion for art. Like, I'm never painting again. She was like, no, don't let him kill your passion. So maybe one day,
exactly.
maybe one day I'll buy some acrylic paint or something, and I'll just paint whatever comes to mind and not feel like I'm being judged or critiqued on it.
Exactly. You need to be your own audience first.
Yeah, exactly. I know you said earlier that you do a lot of work in your spare time. Well, not in your spare time. Your work is pretty much your life, basically, with college and everything. How do you manage your time? Because I know as college students, that's something that a lot of us struggle with. How do you balance your time?
Well, honestly, these weeks have been, like, getting really insane, and I have, like, 8 a.m.s to 9 30 p.m. days, like,
wow.
literally, and it's kind of ass, but, like,
Wow.
so a lot of my day is sitting and working and writing, and going to class, and, so I can't say that I'm, like, great at managing my time, because I would love to have, like, more of a balanced life in terms of, like, you know, going on a walk every day or something like that, but sometimes I literally feel like I don't have the time to do it. But, I mean, I get all my work done, and I'm basically just, like, grinding, like, from, like, Monday to Thursday, and then the weekend, like Saturdays, I give myself, like, playtime, like,
Right,
so
yeah.
Saturdays are my play day, but, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel, like, super stressed out because I'm, like, on top of my work, so when I do take time to relax, it is genuine time to relax, so...
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about. Finding time, I think, just really rest and just balance everything out, because
Yeah, oh my God.
yeah, I've learned that when you don't balance your time out, that leads to burnout, and burning out is the worst thing ever, because literally you're just mentally drained and nobody can really pick up the pieces. Like, you have to pick yourself up and try to get back on that horse and just get back on your purpose, because once you're down and out, it's just, you don't feel like doing nothing.
Exactly. Oh my God. I've been talking to my friends recently, and I'm like, I don't know why I haven't come to this sooner, but it is so important to take care of yourself, like, in a real way, because you're just going to burn out. And, like, if you want to accomplish these things, like, you're just not going to have the energy. You're not going to have, like, the mental capacity to, like, do the things that you want to do.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm realizing, like, how, like, just insanely important that is to, like, do these things for yourself.
Yeah, like Saturdays and Sundays, like as you said, those are my days where I rest and I play and I do whatever I want to do. And Sunday I'm just sleeping. Like that's when I'm catching up on sleep, because I get up early in the morning as it is. So I try to just condition my body to just stay in the bed for a few more hours, maybe watch some Netflix or Hulu for a little bit, and then you can get up at 10 o'clock, because my body I just get up early. I just can't control it, but I've always been conditioned to, like, when you wake up, you should get out of the bed and do something, and then I don't want to have to feel obligated to do stuff on the weekends. Like, this is my time to just relax, so that way I'm ready for the week and to do whatever I have to do, whether that's school or my job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And so my last question to you, before I go ahead and let you go, is you kind of touched on this earlier, giving advice to your past former self. If you could go back in time and give some advice to yourself from high school, what would you say to that young Lily Bridges?
Probably that. I think of advice. I don't know. I feel like I would probably say, don't be so stressed out, but keep working hard.
Right.
Like, everything's going to work out. And I think, there's no need to stress out. That's not really doing anything.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I did the same thing, putting pressure on myself, unnecessary pressure on myself. And sometimes I do the same thing even now to this day. But it's like you said, just being able to take a step back and reflect on who you are, just to see how far you've come, and just knowing that you're always on top of your priorities, that makes everything okay. And then that allows me to, take a step back and chill out when I start to get anxious about certain things.
Exactly. Yeah, I just, wish I could tell my younger self that, because I don't think that I had that, foresight of burnout, basically, that we were talking about, too, and just, stressing yourself out over minutia, kind of.
Right, absolutely.
Although it doesn't feel like minutia when you're in high school, because it's your entire life in high school, and I don't know.
It really is. And then, once you leave high school, all your issues and problems are just nothing, because now those problems have been replaced by, real, actual problems. The little stuff in high school, that stuff doesn't even, matter anymore.
Exactly, I know.
Yep, but
yeah.
Lily, I want to thank you so much for your time here today. I know you are a very, very busy woman, so I appreciate you taking the time out to sit down and catch up and talk with me.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care.
You too.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. All right, this wraps up this edition of the podcast. Stay blessed, stay encouraged. I will see you down the road.